would like to take this opportunity also to call one of our major sponsor, Comerica Bank. Now, Comerica has always supported us in all our projects. And today, this morning, we have a representative from Comerica who is our guardian angel there, Mr. Brandon Jones. Brandon has been hand-holding us through the process through last year's boot camp and then also helping us with this event. Brandon?
Good morning, Rowena. How are you?
Happy to see you.
Happy to see you as well. This has been an amazing conference. You all are doing a phenomenal job, and he was a really good singer.
Okay, Brandon, you're live now, so you can talk about all the wonderful projects that you have.
Sure. Well, first off, thank you all so much for this amazing partnership. This has been a phenomenal conference this morning, celebrating women, and we've been doing the same thing at Comerica all month long, just kind of from the top of our house down, from our ERGs, and even reaching out to our community. We've been celebrating women this month, and we celebrate women all year long. We've been a dedicated partner to organizations kind of across our network that really champion for women in the workplace and women owning businesses, right? And making sure that we're empowering our women across our footprint. And so we're really excited to be a part of this event today. And we are a dedicated partner. And just to kind of talk about a few of our partnerships and our projects from across the United States, we want to start out in California. She was not able to be here today, but I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Sonia Trek, who is our our Asian American Pacific Islander business development, national business development manager. And so her charge is to go out and to really deepen the relationships with Asian American interest groups across the United States. And so she had a conflict this morning, but she sends her regards and she really wishes that she should be here today. But kind of under her leadership, we really want to make sure that we reach out to all of our diverse segments and groups across the United States to really make impact. And we say this a lot over at Comerica, but we're really about raising expectations of what a bank can be in community. And so that means getting in the trenches with our partners and understanding the plights of all different people from all different walks of life and supporting those efforts, right? Whatever that may look like. And so just to end, I am super proud to be here this morning. This has been an amazing conference. And if any of you need anything from the bank, please do not hesitate to hop over to our booth in the exhibitor space, leave a message, and we'll be sure to get back with you. If you have a product need, I'll be sure to get you connected with the banker. I'm the community guy. But if you have a community need, please let us know. We love to hear from our community, and we really want to be able to be there as a trusted partner with you all. Thank you, Rowena.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Maria Danet Lapis Bloom, tenured professor at UT Health San Antonio and the region chair of the PACC Central Texas region and the founder of the Center for Filipino-American Health. It is indeed my honor to introduce the panelists and moderators for this morning's panel, which will share their experiences and discuss on the theme, how can a minority woman affect change in the society? As healthcare provider throughout our education, we always taught about from birth to the grave. So we start off with our Canadian-based entrepreneur and advocate for mothers, the CEO of Mami Mondo, Janice Villanueva. Janice began her parenting advocacy work in 1996, where as an expectant mom, she was unable to find resources to prepare for her motherhood. Hence, she and like-minded moms and advocates started organizing talks and support group meetings for moms like them. And while raising two sons, she set up first two mom businesses, Mommy Matters, a pioneering brand of nursing apparel, and Mommy Pages, the first and only free mom directory and a widely circulated handbook with a total circulation of 2,000 copies. In 2003, with the rise of digital and social media, she organized together with her partner, childbirth educator Rome Canapi, the first lifestyle expo for moms, Expo Mom, which was attended by more than 8,000 moms. To the present day, she has later rebranded her business to Mami Mundo, and it's known to be the most extensive and most active multi-platform resource on all things motherhood and family in the Philippines. Today, through events, web, social media, and print, Mami Mundo have reached almost 1 million mothers in the past 15 years and have a current active base of more than 500,000 moms in our hashtag MM community. Her dream was simple: to provide moms access to information and support. Her mission is hashtag Mompowerment. Our next panelist is a Philippine-based entrepreneur, Marja Abad. Marja Abad is the president and co-founder of Siargao Environmental Awareness Movement, or SEA Movement, an environmental NGO that works with the island's local communities, businesses, and government to help ensure that proper measures are being taken to preserve the island's natural resources for the current and future generations. Their team focuses on environmental awareness and protection projects and strive to protect Siargao's seascape. She is also the managing director and co-owner of Kodo Surf, a sustainable surf apparel business. A rock climber, river rafter, and surfer who travels around the world, she graduated from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, with a bachelor's degree in social work. Our next panelist is Aileen Ligot Dizon. Aileen is the founder and the managing partner of Ligot Dizon Law Firm and is based in Houston, Texas. She is an attorney with practice in Texas and in the Philippines and focuses on probate, divorce, and immigration. She is currently continuing her Doctor of Education at the University of Houston. She is a graduate of Masters of Law from the Southern Methodist University Dedman School of Law in Dallas, and Master of Education of University of Houston, Victoria. She is a graduate of the University of Cordilleras College of Law and the University of the Philippines, Baguio. She is a current chair of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce, Texas, Houston, and she is a legal counsel of the University of the Philippines, Alumni Association in America, and Women of Courage International. She is the first vice president of the University of the Philippines Alumni Association in Texas, Houston chapter, and the vice president of Philippine Kalayaan Houston, an association of community leaders organized in partnership with the Philippine Consulate in Houston. She is also a host of the Usapang Off the Record, a legal talk show of Roof Chamber Media, and a co-host of Kumares Walang Iwanan at PHLV Radio. And last but certainly not the least of our panelist is Ellen Sampson, a California-based entrepreneur, though right now I think she is in the Philippines. She is currently the geriatric care manager and CEO for her first business, the American Geriatric Care Management Incorporated, a full-service geriatric care management specializing in caring for seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia care and supporting their families. She started her advocacy by conducting a dementia up close and personal, a seminar and workshop spreading awareness to caregivers and family members. She is also the founding member of the Coalition of Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce, or COFAC, and the president emeritus for Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Los Angeles from 2018 to 2019. And last but certainly not the least, to anchor this whole panel is an award-winning, Emmy Award-winning, Edward Monroe-winning Filipina reporter from KPRC Channel 2 News for NBC in Houston, none other than Roseanne Aragon. Roseanne was a Bronze Tablet Scholar and graduated summa cum laude on broadcast journalism at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. In Houston, Roseanne was honored to be selected as KPRC's space reporter and also leads her own award-winning series, Generation Under Fire. Her reporting on various news events earned her a Telly Lone Star Award 2 Edward Monroe National and Regional Awards, an Emmy, and several Emmy nominations for reporting, writing, and producing, as well as a current nomination for her work on her report Apollo 13, Bringing Heroes Home. Rose Ann is a co-founder of the Filipino-American Unity for Progress Incorporated, or UNIPRO, Chicago Midwest chapter. And UNIPRO educates, empowers, and connects Filipino-American community by providing resources and space for young and prospective professionals who are hungry to continue their leadership after college. She has, as KPRC, Roseanne advocated for coverage of the Congressional Gold Medal Ceremony of Philippine World War II veterans, reopening of the Philippine Consulate General in Houston, and KPRC coverage of FAHM. All right, everyone, take it away to our panel.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Danette. Thank you so much, Rowena and the Philippine-American Chamber of Commerce of Texas for putting together this truly robust program. As a proud Filipino-American reporter for NBC in Houston, storytelling is my passion, and I hope to do that today with these 4 truly groundbreaking leaders, trailblazing a path, accomplishing feats against all odds, and giving us people to identify with. My Filipino-American roots are a huge part of who I am. The values I learned from my strong mother from Pangasinan, my hardworking father from Baclaran, and my 100-year-old Lolo, who passed away just last year. He inspires me today. Their sacrifice and grit laid the foundation for the work that we have all done. In thinking about this mission and vision, celebrating women, inspiring change, how can a Filipina or minority woman affect positive change in society? I look to these strong Filipino women, and through this conversation, I hope these women inspire you to realize people see themselves in you too. What more can you do? All right, without further ado, let's begin, starting with Janice Villanueva. I know they have prepared a 5-minute presentation each with Mami Mundo. She's the CEO. Janice, would you please tell us about the need that you saw in 1996, and you knew you could be the one to make that change?
Hello, Roseanne. Thank you to you and Danette for that wonderful introduction. I am so happy to be here, and I'm honored to be one of the women in this panel. Yes, I'll share a bit about what I do. As you mentioned, I founded a community called Mami Mundo in the Philippines. I recently moved to Canada, but of course, our heart is in Manila still. So as you know, I assume that a lot of us are mothers here. Mother's life is pure joy. We're purposeful, fulfilled, connected, grateful, happy. But there is that other side of motherhood where we feel tired, overwhelmed, we feel inadequate. We lose ourselves at certain points. And this is what I went through also as a mom. And that was 24 years ago when I was pregnant with my firstborn. I was looking for information on pregnancy, breastfeeding, and we know that, baby care, raising a toddler. And being the organizer that I was, I decided to take it into my own hands and organize pocket events with 10 moms, 20 moms. And eventually it grew and grew into 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 mothers in an event. So this advocacy grew into a full-time business and passion for me. And of course, my family as well grew with me in that environment. So this is us now with my 3 kids and my husband. Basically, Mami Mundo is now the leading and active multi-platform resource in the Philippines. We've been serving moms' needs in different stages of motherhood, from pregnancy to parenting, focused on certain pillars of advocacy, always service-oriented. And actually, we are trying to address some of the Millennium Goals universally. Our mission is #Mompowerment. We believe in empowering mothers through our different platforms. We started off as an events company, and with digital, we were able to pivot to all kinds, like website. We have a website, social media. We have a Viber group. We now have a podcast. And a lot more. So that's why we call ourselves a multi-platform resource, always reaching our community in different ways. In 2008, I founded the Expo Mom event, which brought in thousands of mothers, and we took this nationwide. If you remember, in the Philippines, we are very regionalistic. So we would bring the event from Manila to Cebu, Davao, Cagayan, Baguio, all over, because we felt that in every region there would be different needs of mothers. And through this, we were able to grow and grow. And as Danette mentioned, we've reached more than 1 million moms since we started. We celebrate mom friendships. We empower mothers who raise daughters. We share stories. So as Roseanne mentioned, when we share our stories, we realize we're not alone and we feel empowered as well. We have a mom influencer network wherein we bring together mom influencers, celebrity mothers, social media influencers, and use digital for a purpose. We have a mompreneur community wherein moms have businesses and they're able to contribute to their family income while following their passions. We also realize, of course, how can we be mothers without the fathers? And so we started as well a daddy community called Daddy Mundo. We take on causes like normalizing breastfeeding, being fit with your kids through our Mommy Milkshake Run. Mindfulness and meditation is a new advocacy in this world of mental health challenges and overwhelm. And when the pandemic happened, we shifted to digital immediately in order to serve our moms. As you know, in Manila, they were stuck at home for almost 2 years, and we wanted to be there for our community. And at one point, we were doing 80 events in the year in 2020. So we were able to serve our community even online, and even myself, even if I'm in Canada, I was able to be there for the community. Now we're going global, and I ask for your support as we launch Mommy Mundo Global through our on-demand e-learning platform. That's at learn@mommymundo.com. Right now, we have 100 videos from pregnancy to parenting. And if there are experts here who want to share their modules and learning modules and lectures, we can actually have you at Mommy Mundo Learns and be part of our community as well. I want to share with you our wins, wherein we actually bagged a top award in marketing in the Philippines, besting companies, even Ayala, ABS-CBN, Jollibee, and our little company garnered the top award in 2015 just because we were espousing a good cause. So we wonder how a small company like us with very minimal budget would be able to do that. And I believe it's because of the passion and purpose. And right now we are all called as women leaders. Maybe we are called CEOs, Chief Executive Officers. And in the pandemic, someone said, and I believe this so much, that we are now Chief Empathy Officers. We use our compassion and vulnerability to lead our organizations and serve our communities. And my mission really is to empower a mother, because I believe that we empower a mother, she raises empowered children, empowered family, and a community, and it affects the nation, and it becomes a better world. So this is my mission through Mommy Mundo. So thank you for this opportunity to be here and to share.
Gosh, thank you so much. There are some words that really stick out there. We're talking passion, compassion, and just your ability to change with everything going on. You are someone that people can now look up to. When you saw that there wasn't any role model there, you said, I will make that change.
Thank you, Roseanne.
Yes. Speaking of passion and compassion, my next question is for Ellen Sampson. We know you are a leader, especially in the Filipino community in geriatric care. Could you talk about your mission and vision and how your Filipina roots affect your work, inspire your work? And we know it's 1 a.m. in the Philippines. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So glad to be able to make it. I took a little bit of nap because of the how do you call this, because of the time zone difference. I've been here for a week, so I'm right in the middle of, jet lag on and off. Anyway, thank you for inviting me. It's been a while. I have a respite of around 3 months talking, but as we were talking about, I'm so sorry. I think there was a miscommunication in sending my bio, but yeah, I do go out and talk a lot on two things. It's about geriatrics, my passion for dementia. I'm an internationally certified dementia practitioner with clients all over the world, advising people, particularly women, on how to deal with the challenges of dementia when it's already knocking at the door. My second passion is actually to give back and empower Filipinas or young leaders on how to give back through community work. That's the reason why I am one of the founders of the Coalition of Filipino-American Chambers of Commerce, who started with 5 chambers in California and now growing to now 24 chamber organizations, and maybe hitting this year around 36. So what started as a passion, small passion, and now it's actually national. And I think I called Kofac the Mercedes Benz, when I could ride so that I can share the passion and advocacy. Sometimes people already don't know that my specialty is dementia. Dementia. They think I am with Kofac. My work with the community is highlighted more. But going back to dementia, my goal actually, I have seen it before, but if I think we could share, I could share with you my little story, which some people did not hear yet. Ellen Sampson is not Ellen Sampson that you have. I have this, I always say, it's a story of resilience. Way back in 2002, I migrated in the US, leaving a very flourishing career in commercial property management in the Philippines to go back to migrate in California, Los Angeles, to run away from a very bad marriage, bringing 3 kids with me all by myself. Luckily, I have parents who were able to support me. Starting from my first job in the US is to be a karaoke master. I used to have a good voice as per my audience. But then, fast tracking, when I migrated in the US, nobody would hire me because what will they do with somebody who has the international experience but doesn't have the local experience? So, you know what? That very high profile in the Philippines, commercial property manager, managing shopping centers, working with the big tycoons. I started in the US as karaoke master, giving up everything, and became a caregiver who had to deal on the first day with the poop, pee, and vomit, which is just like the Sharon Conetta movie, The Caregiver. That happened to me, and it's a very humbling experience. But it also pushed me to be better, because I said the first day doing caregiving, I was thinking of being not just being an employee, but putting up my own. Fast track it, fast track it. I started that in 2000, actually 2002, 2000. Then when I went back to the Philippines, and then 2008 I stayed. As I said, nobody wants to hire me. So you know what? I have to go down for the sake of my children in order to make a living. But thinking, I did not stop dreaming. For somebody who was really from a bad marriage, from a career gone, starting from the very first, that pushed me to go further. And then I was able to put up American Geriatric. Someone told me, like, why are you doing caregiving? Why are you doing caregiving? And you're so overqualified. And I said, of course, you're Miss Hurst. She's one of my first clients. And I say, Miss Hurst, the one doing cleaning your butt has a master's degree. I'm a Filipina who humbled myself, but it also pushed me up again because of the love of my kids, and because I think it's in our DNA to care, we Filipinos. So, from a caregiver to the CEO of American Geriatric. One client, two clients, three clients, people kept on talking. And then there was a time, right now we are a multi-million company doing very well into the geriatric care. Most servicing big hospitals, providing sitter services. So that's what happened to me. And then followed all these awards that I never expected. But guys, what am I saying is that I was at that time 40 years old and have to redo myself again in America. But I love to share this story that we can always bounce back from a tragedy in our life, from the challenges, because we are moms. We have, this is a quote I would like to share everyone because we're all Filipino. We are all women here. When you were young, we were expected to be good daughters. And when we grow up, we are expected to be good wives because we get married. And then you be expected to be a good mom when you have children. Ask yourself, when was the time you were a good you? For me, I was a good you when I started realizing my value in the community on how can I effect change. So being a dementia practitioner, being a business person, I was doing so well. I felt that I need to give back something and I need to tell people my story. You don't just the louder you can always go up. You can always bounce back using the love and that fighting spirit of a mother and a person who would always want to effect change. So when I became, I tried to study everything and I found out about this problem with families having to deal with dementia. Dementia is the worst illness that could afflict a person. And it destroys family relationships if you are not aware of what it can do. That's why when I discovered that during my line of work, I tried to study more and try to help families deal with that. It's a tragedy. You'd rather have cancer rather than dementia. So in order to preserve the relationships and our sanity, I tried giving free seminars. Sometimes it started as a marketing tool. But then I saw right now we have a Facebook group that is almost 35,000 and we just started a few months ago. Families crying every day. This is our problem with Lola, Lolo. They don't know how to do it. And a lot of people do not know dementia. The first problem with people with dementia is they have the first problem with dementia care is that families are giving their loved ones reality orientation. No reality orientation with dementia care. That's the reason why I put up YouTube channel, YouTube videos, and most of our seminars for the dementia up close and personal. I call it, you have to attend my seminar. It's a life-changing seminar. You will never look at a senior the same way again after you attend that. And it's a very emotionally charged. So hopefully, after this, you could take a look at YouTube, some of those that I did. Before COVID, we have hundreds in attendance because, it's one way of reaching out and being proactive on how we can effect change. This is my way, COFAC and dementia care. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. I think that we could all listen to you just all night and really be inspired by the compassionate work you do. I know that there's many people in this, there's more than 30 people listening who could think, she is inspiring to me. And if I'm not there yet, I can get there. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I know we have another incredible woman to introduce to you all. I'd like to bring up, I call her Ate Aileen Legot Dizon. She has her own law firm. With that being said, as we move on through this conversation, Can you talk to us about why this was something that you wanted to do, and some of the challenges that you may have faced as a minority woman in this field, and how you persevered?
Thank you, Janet and Roseanne. Truly grateful women of our time right now, and very inspiring to others as well. I'm truly honored to be here and be part of this event and this panel discussion, to be able to share and also hopefully inspire others to step up and do something that you love doing and be great at it. So, well, Roseanne, before I started my law firm, I was in Dallas. So my family, we were in Dallas, and I guess that's how I started my advocacy, helping women, when I had the opportunity to volunteer at a shelter for victims of domestic violence and human trafficking, especially, I'm not specifically sex trafficking. So I saw the ugly side of the world, that it's truly disheartening to see people are suffering because of others. I can't imagine how a family member, a husband or a wife, I mean, because it could be anybody, it could be a victim of a domestic violence. I just couldn't imagine that a loved one could do something horrible to a loved one, you know. We have in the Philippines, our culture is family ties supposed to be strong, right? I value family so much, because aside from being the unit uh, of our society, the basic unit of society where everything started, that's where we learn how to be a person, how to live, and how to grow, right? We first are we become a member of our family before we become part of the community. So it's very important for me, the values and how, the relationship within a family. So I just can't imagine seeing these people being in that situation in the shelter, and I see women and children suffer from domestic violence and other types of human oppression. And being able to volunteer there, I had the opportunity to listen to their stories. It started from a very great story, love story, great relationship, and then all of a sudden it dwindled down to unimaginable relationship, and ended up in a tragic situation. But apart from that, seeing the ugly side of that, I also saw how others can help these victims, to start their own a new life, a new person, as a new person, and how to be strong again. I mean, you can talk to a person who's wanting to end everything, because that's what they think is the only way out, but it's not. So being able to show them that there's a way out, and that you can be great again, and that you can dream again, and that you can reach your dream, and be able to help others as well. So it ended up having these women being victims, and later on becoming volunteers as well, to empower others. So it's really good to see. I mean, yeah, I'm very proud to be a part of that situation where I saw them when they were at the very low of their, what do you call this, very low part or situation of their life, where they thought that it's hopeless already. And two, a woman who actually are becoming leaders in the community, and achieving their dreams, and helping others. So that's how I started advocating for our women. And in that shelter, I saw mostly our minorities, and even we have Filipinos, Filipino women also in that situation. So it's really, this oppression is happening to everyone, not just minority, but also everybody. But most of the victims are women and children. And so when we moved to Houston, I founded the Legal and Law Firm. One of my practices focus on divorce. I do not, as a Filipino race woman, I value family. it was a struggle for me in the beginning, like, why am I doing divorce, and am I breaking families and all that? But my experience in the shelter justifies that. Yes, I do not encourage divorce as much as possible. If you can fix things, fix it. It's a relationship. It's beautiful. You started beautifully, so it would. I would love to see you be successful in your relationship. But if there are things that are really uh, not giving us any more, not destroying as us as a person, I think it should be it is justifiable that you should have a way out. And what the law gives us is as a way out is getting that divorce decree. So while I do not encourage it, um I support that if it's needed, then go for it. And I help these people get their divorce decree. It is sometimes I have mixed emotions, Ro, honestly, because when I get the divorce decree from my client, I feel good that to tell them, hey, good news, you are now free. It is a start of a fresh life. But before the start of that fresh life, something was destroyed, right? A family, especially if there are children. But we have to weigh. We have to, that's why I always ask my clients to, it's up to you. How many percent do you really want to get out of this situation? um yeah, it's the violence that is really the big factor there, that you gotta have to get out of that situation. If you're being hurt, you're no longer being respected as a person. you know um it's time for you to get out of that situation.
Now,
And yeah,
I can
so but I also even though I'm not right now connected with any nonprofit organization supporting women, I continued my advocacy in helping victims of human trafficking. So I get calls and help them however I could. If they're in the area, I personally help them get out of that situation and connect them to authorities and agencies who help victims of domestic violence. And if they're not in the state, they're outside other state or city, then I connect them to agencies who could help them. Yeah.
thank you for the wealth of information. And I think you speak to the voices of the women that you hear and empowering them. And yes, every person's individual circumstance is different, and you empower them to make the decision that's best for them. I do want to open up the conversation now to all of the speakers, if we could have them all up. And just ask a few questions before we get to Marja's presentation, since I know she wanted to be here, but she has a bit of a connection issue. I wanted to now direct a question to Ate Janice. Ate Janice, could you just talk to us about some of the challenges that you might have faced, and how perhaps some of the values that you took with you from, your Filipino grandparents, your mom, really helped you to overcome?
Yeah, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. So although I did have some limiting beliefs back then, I was thinking, how am I ever going to set up my own company? But what happened was, through my purpose as a mom and passion, I don't know, being a mother really brought out the fire in me, wanting the best for my children, wanting to be the mother that I thought I could be, inspired by my own mother as well. That's what spurred me on to do Mommy Mundo. I think in terms of the challenges, one is really sustainability, building a social enterprise, being founded on service. You have to find ways to make your work sustainable. So we can't keep giving from ourselves. We can't keep doing work when even if it's for a good cause. We have to find ways to make it earn. Sometimes we have also limiting beliefs in relation to money. So that's a skill, an entrepreneurship skill that we women have to also accept. Like, we think we don't deserve it. We're scared to talk about money. We think that if we earn money, we're not doing good work, when it could actually be harmonized together, right? So while we have very specific policies on advertising, like to accept funding from brands that we don't believe in, we vet brands that before we bring them into our community and in our platforms. we make sure that these are brands that we believe in and use ourselves. Because when the women look at our platform, they believe that we've endorsed it. So there's like a very important role that we play as community leaders and platform owners, is to make sure that when we put out information, that we're responsible. And I think if you have the core, they always say to go back to your why and your core value, as long as you have that intact. And I think after 20 years of being tested, of course, we get sent tests, right, along the way to check our motivations. And if our core is strong, then we're able to actually become successful in our work and make it sustainable, even with all the challenges. So for me, it was really sustainability, because I really wanted to serve moms and be there for the community as much as I could, while still giving my team good salaries and actually also contributing to my own family income. So basically for me, it's an entrepreneurial challenge.
Thank you so much, Atty. Janice. Entrepreneurial challenges include making a business on your own, creating something from nothing, which clearly you have done. Atty. Aileen, Attorney Aileen, in a field that is so male dominated, can you talk to us about some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you ever feel discrimination because you were a woman, and how did you overcome?
Oh yes, bro, that's a very good question. You know, and you're right, it's a male dominated field. Before, I guess we're starting to dominate now. Just I believe we have this women attorney group, and we're talking about all this experience. And me personally, yes, I experienced being looked down into as not just a woman, but also a minority. So I do have I do probate and guardianship. So some other attorneys are representing the other parties, and so sometimes they give me a hard time getting communicating with them. As simple as that. They will not reply to your email, or they're gonna make you wait for a long time. And when you call them, there's so many ways to avoid you. It's like they want you to feel that you are not that important. So that's really a challenge. And the other thing is, sometimes when you go to court, like you said, it's male dominated. They'll think that if you're a woman, you are a paralegal or a secretary or something like that, not a lawyer. So it's the default is that you're not a lawyer. You're here as like a secretary or a paralegal or legal assistant, something like that. Yes, Ro, you were saying?
What are some of the ways that you overcame it? What are some of the things that you had to think about or tell yourself or find a mentor in order to be able to give it right back?
Yes, actually, like I had mentioned earlier, we have a female group of attorneys. So we help each other. We kind of like share stories and what did you do? So we get ideas from there. How did you handle this kind of situation? Like, for example, if the person in the other attorney called you little girl, what will you say? I may be little, but my brain is big. So you gotta have to get back to like that. So I have big things in my suitcase is big. I may be little, but my suitcase is big. So
there you go.
As simple as that.
She's got fire in her.
Oh,
my
yes.
fire comes from my mom. She's a sweet little kitten until you cross her, then she's a tiger.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. Now for Ellen Sampson, who is such an inspiration to all of us, I did have a specific question for you, especially with everything that you told us. What is some advice you give to those who face adversity or self-doubt in their work?
There's a hero in you. When you're down, there's no way to go up. And you can fuel that. The effort will be fueled by the love that you have, and the passion. But I think Janice really mentioned it. Like, how do you support this advocacy when, of course, you need money to fill up the gas? You need logistics. That's why when I pray, I always, when I go to church every day, every Sunday, I always ask the Lord, can you send me, since you are using me as an instrument, because you gave me a big heart, please bless this heart. Channel, use me as an instrument in order for me to reach people. Not for me, but use me as an instrument so that, the blessings use it through me. Not necessarily money, but also, maybe wisdom, whatever. I always ask that, you know, when I earn more, there's I think I got it from Kofac. People with money do more good, So it doesn't mean because we need money a lot in order to do, but we really need the logistics. I'm also a with John Maxwell, and there's this quote that he said that, we should have we should earn the dollars to fuel our dreams. I always mention that also to others. But yeah, it's when you ask me about it, I always talk about my story. We have to go out there, tell our story. I'm not ashamed to say I have first date, poopy and vomit in front of the influential. Yeah, I did that in front. When I got my award for the most influential Filipino award in Paris, in front of how many accomplished women? Nothing. Bare. I said, this is what I did to be here. I had to deal with poopy and vomit on my first day, and it made me a better person. I used to run shopping centers, and when you're an executive, you think 80% and care 20, because 80% there's a bottom line that you need to fulfill being a corporate person. But in my job,
Yes.
I now care 80% and think 20. I'm using my heart because I love what I do. It's not a job anymore. It's passion. It's an advocacy. So it doesn't feel so heavy. And when you love what you do, money follows.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen to that. I know when I first started, it really was about learning the skills that I needed, and the salary. I wasn't paid a lot as a reporter when you start in a small city, but you learn the skills that you need: grit, perseverance, resilience, and you learn who you are through those challenges. I do want to introduce a video because Ate Marja was not able to make it. If we could have that up. She had a video explaining her mission and vision, what empowers her. So when we cue that up, then we'll play the video, and then we will continue our discussion after that.
Good morning and happy International Women's Month to all of us. Thank you again, Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce, Texas, for inviting me to be part of this conference. And it is such an honor to be one of the panelists among the admirable Filipino women with us here. And it makes me even more proud to be a Filipina, seeing all of us gathering here virtually to start a conversation about celebrating women and initiating change. And I very much love to share with you all my story. And I hope that some of you will be inspired to also plant and sow seeds of change in your chosen community or your chosen issue and create an impact, whether it be big or small. And I'd also love to share with you how being a woman has made me start a movement in taking care of our ocean. Again, I am Marja Abad, and I am the president and co-founder of Siargao Environmental Awareness Movement, or SEA Movement. We are a grassroots non-for-profit organization based in Siargao Island, Philippines, that work with local communities, businesses, and government agencies to ensure that we are doing our part in protecting the island's natural resources for the present and future generations.
Okay, so it looks like that will be the portion of the video that we show. A teaser just like how it is in news, to give you a little bit of a tease, but you can definitely watch the full video. Our organizers will make sure that that is available to everyone so that they can learn more about her mission and vision with the Siargao Environmental Awareness Movement. It's called Sea Movement, if you wanted to look that up as well. I did want to continue on our discussion here, as it's really meaningful. If you look at the chat, you can see there are so many people who are taking from this. And please, those who are watching, feel free to add in a question and we'll get those in as we are able. I know someone had raised their hand, so if you could kindly type out the question, I'll make sure to ask it. Panelists, thank you so much for your time. If you can try to keep each answer to a minute or two each, if possible. I know not every question will allow for that. That would be great, so we can get as many questions in as possible. I did want to open it back up to each of the panelists. And we left off with the conversation of skills. You know, Marja Abad has her skill of knowing the land, knowing what it needs, and giving back to the Philippines. As far as skills, you know, in your specific fields, as we are all from different fields, vastly different, and even different parts of the world. It's 1 a.m. in the Philippines. Can you just talk about some of the skills, maybe name 1 or 2 skills that you really needed to succeed in your field that might be applicable to those who are watching generally? Let's start with Janice.
Oh, hi. Thanks, Roseanne. So I'm a fan of mothers, so as you know, and I think we have to actually own the skills of mothers. First of all, we are natural at word of mouth and marketing. When we like something, we share it, right? Like if you like this detergent, you found this new product for your baby, it's automatic. We share that with our fellow moms, people we know. That's one skill. And the second thing is being nurturers. We are natural nurturers. Actually, even if you're not a mom, women in general are natural nurturers. And in whatever field you get into, these 2 traits are already give you an edge. We have to believe that even mom intuition or women intuition, right? We have a 6th sense. And that's the superpower that we have. I believe, as I think Miss Ellen mentioned, that we care, and that's our power. So I think I said 3, not 2, but hope that's okay. But I think we should all own that and recognize that in ourselves.
The energy that's within us naturally. I know, you know, our DNA comes from our moms, our grandmas, you know, we're already eggs in the womb. And so I think that's really powerful. Thank you so much for that. Ate Aileen?
Yes, Ro. Yeah, Janice, I totally agree with everything that you've said. And I just want to add to that. For me, I believe it's staying optimistic. For me, it's very important to stay positive, believe that there's always a solution to every problem. Hey, that's what we do. That's what I do, right? But yeah, but that is true. Lawyer or not, believe that there's a solution to every problem. You just need to find the right person who can help you, or find the right solution. And of course, you're not going to find that one if you stay home or stay quiet as to the challenges that you are having right now. And the other thing is, of course, if you stay positive, you feel that there's a solution. I also wanted to share that as the educator part of me, I always share to everybody, everything can be learned, even the most difficult technical problem in the internet. Everything can be learned. It's just the willingness to learn it. You just have to have that willingness and open mindedness, that you have to have an open mind that, hey, I can learn this. There's no such thing as a smart person, because everything can be learned. You can be smart if you wanted to. That's what I can probably share right now.
Yes, there's a way. There is always some
way. The way, yes.
Right? We'll find the way. Filipino women will find a way. My mom knows everything. She found a way. Ellen Sampson.
The skill, I think, how would I say, the skill to reach out. I think that is the best one. No pretense. This is just me. I want to help. Just bear. But there's one thing I always mention as a battle cry: the empowerment of women. You try to empower other people, and empowers you too. So I have 3 companies right now. They're all for empowerment on the business side, we have the American care professionals. We actually import Filipino caregivers to bring them to America. We also have my own EVA. I have a small call center, home-based dean's listers who are now doing for my own EVA. We recruit them from college and help. And of course, American Geriatric. So most of now, it's more on, it's actually a business, but it's there to empower women. It's more to, so for me, the skill, it's empathy. I I try to feel the same way the dementia care. There's number one in dementia care, like no reality orientation. You should, when your mom says or your Lola says this wall is red, even though it's white. Yes, it's red because she's not lying, because that is her reality. In the same way, I see it like if I empathize, I would be able to see the perspective of the person. So I always, when designing programs or projects, how will this benefit women? How will this make their life easy? And then when it works, thank you, because you know what, you were paid to do a job that you love. At the same time, you know what, you were able to make a difference in other people's lives.
Can I ask you this, Bo? We have a question that I think is relevant to what you're talking about. She says, Rodora Elizondo says, what are your thoughts? I'm at a crossroad for a career change, life change, but I'm not scared to take the leap. I just turned 50 and I'm not sure I have the confidence to explore new possibilities or that I'm young enough to start again. What do you have to say to a question like that?
Yeah, that's really a tough question, because you know why, when I was having a career change almost in that period, number one is you're wise. You know, we're why first, and then everything follows. But again, there's a hero in you. Why are you changing? Maybe putting up the lessons you've learned in the past. Some people like, oh, I want this, I want that. So in the first place, why are you changing? There could be a reason, and use that to pivot you or to spring you back. Why? The lessons that we learned during that time, that's why we're changing. At the same time, there's one more thing: focus. We have to, every morning before, I call it looking at a blank wall, thinking, focus, and plan. Let us not, sometimes, we're ruled by our emotions, that we're so lonely or we've done this, but look into the positive side. Look into what is there. I have this thing. This, I always mention, this too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
Yes.
And every hardship prepares extraordinary people. This is a quote that gets me through hard times, like moving to different cities and then just creating a life out of nothing. I'm inspired by my mom.
Roseanne, may I help also answer Rodora? Because I actually also just turned 50. So hi, fellow golden girl. And I actually moved from Manila to here just before I turned 50. And I had the same fears. Like, although I run my company from here, I didn't know that everything would pivot to digital when I left the Philippines. So I was ready to redesign my life. And I felt the same way. I felt, my gosh, I have to learn how to set up a business in Canada. I don't have my lawyer, my accountant who would do it for me, even chores, And I think the one thing that might help is to treat everything as an adventure. So don't lose that sense of wonder. They say, we call it the beginner's mind. So yes, we are 50, but if you have a beginner's mind and you think, I do pray for energy, like Miss Ellen, diba? We pray for resources. We pray, Lord, I just need youthful energy. But other than that, we just have to do a little mind shift that, hey, I may be 50, but there's so much to learn. Like Roseanne said, we can learn anything. Like Miss Aileen said also, take away all these beliefs that, oh, I don't do math. I'm so old. I said that I'm so old. I say that too. But really, with the beginner's mind, we can do many things. And if we know our core, like Miss Ellen said, our value, our why, our purpose, and our strengths as well, like what are we good at, then we can find something new to put our energies into again.
Opo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And the quote was, hardships prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destinies, which I think adds to your point nicely, Ate Janice. One question, and then after that, we'll wrap up with a message from each of you. But the last question was, what can men do to empower women? Ate Aileen, would you like to take that?
Yes, well, they're usually, well, in my situation, what man can do is whatever they can do. I mean, to support each other. A lot of people are asking me, how are you be able to do everything that you're doing right now? You have your business, you have your advocacy, you have your community involvement, you have your family to raise. I have two beautiful children. So I always tell them, because I have a husband who is very supportive. So you just need to find a partner in life, maybe not really necessarily husband, a partner, a friend. It could be that could be a friend, a person. He could be a friend because we're talking about male, right? He could be a friend. He could be a brother. He could be a relative. Just find that person who you think shares, your vision, and who's willing to support you and understand you, and who's also have the courage to say no to you or stop what you're doing and tell you what you're doing wrong, so that you can correct your whatever mistake you're doing or you've done in the past. Then that's the person you wanted to be with or be a part of your life. So I think that's what men can do right now, is be the brother, be the friend, be a husband, be a partner, be that other person who is willing to support you no matter what. Yeah.
Thank you. And the last question I just want to end with, thank you so much, everyone, for your questions. Ate Grace had a question in the chat. Please use these questions in the chat to reflect on what we've talked about today, and perhaps think of ways you can answer them outside of this discussion. But with that being said, thank you for everything. If everyone can just go around, starting with Janice, then Ellen, then Aileen, with just a quick mention of what is one thing that our attendees can do to affect change in society.
Thank you I really am honored to be in this panel and this event. So congratulations to all of you who organized it. I just wanted to say that we really live in extraordinary times. That's I guess that's so meaningful, that word extraordinary. But what I wanted to really focus on was that I think never in history was compassion and kindness deemed as a superpower, or it goes like success and compassion is now being used in the same sentence. And I believe that's a strength as women that we all need to utilize and maximize, the way we care for people, the way we nurture people. We can use that for success. So that's basically my message and takeaway during this Women's Month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Janice. That's really inspiring, and I love what you just said. And everything that we've discussed today, they're all very important information that we should remember, or at least apply in our lives whenever it's this wisdom or knowledge is applicable. Because, like I said, it's important that we accept ourselves as we are women. Yes, we are women. So what? Right? So, like everyone else, we have challenges, we have struggles, and we need to talk about it. It's okay to talk about it, really. Find a group of people whom you're comfortable sharing with your problem, your struggles with, because it's really important for you to be able to get it out of your system, right? Get it out of your brain, because if somebody heard you, that person can do something, probably to change or make a difference in your life, so we can help each other and empower each other. Because if we don't know, if we didn't hear your story, we will not know that it exists, and we can't help you. Okay, so together we can mentor each other, we can support, and equip each other to live the life we truly wanted. So let's help create that space for our strong women, and to make a space for those who are still trying to be strong. Let's help them stand up and be like us. I mean, I want us all to be successful. That's all.
Thank you. Last but not least.
Yeah, I wrote down. I have a lot of things in my mind. I would say, don't let anyone talk you out of your dreams. You know what? If you think you can do it, you are the first hero. You have to go for it. I think, and then I can't read my. I have severe eye allergies here. That's why. Okay, and another one is when you dream, make it big. It's free. So I always say that, dream or like aspire for the moon and the stars. But lastly, I think we want to help other people. We want to, but it's family. So sometimes before, the reason why I can't take off because I have a problem with personal life. So I think with mental health, everything follows when you try to strengthen the family, your ties with the family. And sometimes we Filipinos are always, family oriented. So part of that is maybe as a parting word, I have some videos in YouTube about dementia up close and personal, and I'm offering here for the audience. Shoot me a PM. I can do that with the mainstream community. I can do it here also for the Filipino community. If you have some issues, just shoot me a PM. I answer like, what am I going to do if Lola is like this or like that? Or Lola has 5 children, 5 different opinions on what to do with her. You must us or what? I answer as a family dynamics coach and a dementia practitioner. I help families do that. I offer that to the Filipino community for free. So I really answer. You could see sometimes my inbox because that's my advocacy. I want to advise people. So whoever is in the audience, if you want, just shoot me a PM. I'll get back to you. I'm not right away, maybe, but at least I can advise and help and save that family from crumbling, or that woman who's so sandwiched with all the rigors of family caregiving and taking care of their children. I would like to offer that help.
Wow, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for your valuable insight. I hope everyone enjoyed this discussion, and I hope that everybody knows that they can make a change, and they take some of the pieces of wisdom they've learned from these incredible, strong, inspiring women, and that they do something a little bit different today. Perhaps they send that email they've been wanting to send. Perhaps they have coffee with a mentor. Perhaps they realize they can do it. Lots of very inspiring things. I also wanted to bring direction to the chat. Lots of great input and conversation and support happening there. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Yoli. Thank you, Amy. And please know this conversation is just beginning. The organizers will be sharing each of their bios and links to their resources that they mentioned today so that people can really take from this. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. And thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, everyone. That was truly amazing. I think when we do this again, we're going to give 1.5 hours to our panel discussions. It's really, really not enough time for all the wonderful things we're learning. Okay, we need to take a break. You have a few minutes to take a break, and then please come back for our breakout sessions. We have even more amazing women. Thank you.